Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Late video, but that's just where we are at the moment with the Christmas period and all that. Yesterday, I released my Wonder Woman 1984 review. It wasn't favourable. I thought the movie was terrible, absolutely terrible. Its directing was poor, its writing was garbage, its special effects were terrible, the wire work was dreadful. It was nonsensical. Most of the cast tried their hardest to plow through with what they had. Gal Gadot, she works very well with Chris Pine. Chris Pine's very charming indeed. Best thing about the first film, arguably. Pedro Pascal was good as Maxwell Lord with what they gave him, even though his storyline was completely all over the place. And Kristen Wiig just turned up and played Kristen Wiig as she normally does. Wasn't particularly good at all. And her cheetah makeup and CGI was just abysmal. And then you say that's a $200 million movie, and I ask you, where's the money gone? Where is the money gone? Anyway, so that's where I left it. Here we are, 24 hours later. Wonder Woman 3 is in the works, with Patty Jenkins returning. Diana Prince is officially heading back to the big screen for a third Wonder Woman movie. Warner Brothers has fast-tracked development on another installment in the DC franchise, with Gal Gadot returning to star as the title heroine, with Patty Jenkins back to write and direct the concluding entry in the superhero trilogy. Well, that's just it, really. This isn't a trilogy. It's only a trilogy in number, and number alone. There's nothing that links the first and second films together, other than she loves Steve Trevor, and that part of the film is now resolved. So it's not something that interlinked, and that was another frustrating element. It's called Wonder Woman 1984, and it has nothing to do with 1984. It's just generic 80s setting. And Wonder Woman, the first film, was very specific to World War I. And Diana leaving Themyscira and seeing what the real world was like in that time period, a world at war with each other, and the horrors of it and the desperate need for hope and heroism. And she was there to provide it. The second one, being 1984, you would expect would have some specific link to the 80s. No, there were plenty of continuity errors. There was the Operation Wolf arcade game in the arcade, and that didn't release until 1987. So there were little things like that. It was, no, we just want to set it in the 80s. Okay, then don't call it 1984, call it Wonder Woman something else. I know this sounds really pedantic, but that was kind of like the whole philosophy of the film. The film just didn't make sense in so many different regards. The plot surrounded... Spoilers, by the way. The plot surrounded this crystal that would grant wishes. Essentially the monkey paw. They even mention monkey paw in the film. But it's a crystal that would grant wishes, that was made by the King of Lies or the Prince of Lies, the devil, Loki, whatever you want to call it. And it would grant you a wish, but it would take something in return without you, bargaining on that or whatever it is. And so people are fulfilling their fantasies, they're fulfilling their wishes, and the film is just like, no, don't aspire, don't wish, don't want to be better than you are. Just be a slob. just never grow as a human. Just never grow. Just be what you are and deal with your lot in life. And it's like, And then Maxwell Lord, of course, who wanted everything. That his wish was to turn himself into the crystal, so that everyone would ask him for the wishes, and then he would take something from them. And so this is the greediest man around. He wants everything. I want the world. It's my time to have the world. And then even he, at the end, has the whole epiphany of it's nothing unless I have my son and I love my son. And then you have this little montage of when he was growing up and how he was actually bullied and had domestic violence at home. And so he came from a broken family. And then when he went into school, he was mercilessly bullied for being poor. So you can kind of see when he's poor why he would want wealth, why he'd want security for his family. And then setting up his own firm and desperately trying to make something before things went wrong. And it's just like, you've made the main villain now a very sympathetic character. And then he denies all his wishes at the end, nullifies everything so he can just be with his son. So he's the one that makes the ultimate sacrifice at the end of the film. Diana can't do anything. Cheetah's licking a minge, you know, in a corner somewhere, now that she's been transformed into an apex predator. So it's kind of like, okay. But this is, so the response, as you've seen, you've probably been on Twitter, you've probably been on other sites, the response that you've seen for this movie has not been favourable. And yes, there are people attempting to defend it, but it's that age-old story of we're trying to defend it because it's getting a lot of shit, it's getting a lot of flack. But this movie is justifiably getting a lot of criticism. You know, for Gal Gadot's beauty and her chemistry with Chris Pine, their relationship should have been really explored in this film. The fact that Chris Pine's soul was occupying another person's body. We just saw Chris Pine as Chris Pine for ease of access, shall we say, because that's what Gal Gadot saw. There was no questioning about taking this man's body and abusing it. Every dangerous situation Chris Pine put the body in, this person was not giving permission. Every time they had the bumpy sexy time, this man had not given permission. And as I said yesterday on the, Yellow Flash's podcast, this guy could have been gay. What if this guy was gay? What about the outcry then? What if the roles were reversed and it was a female that inhabited a female body, a female soul that inhabited a female body? They'd be calling them all kinds of things, the men. But there's a huge double standard in Hollywood, a massive double standard, where it's just like, ugh, men are gross, men are pigs, ugh, all men are trash. Yet they, the women, are doing worse, if not just the same. Let's just put it on parity. Are doing exactly the same and getting away with it. Not a good film. So fast-tracked. The announcement comes hot off the heels of the release of Wonder Woman 1984. Warner Brothers said the Wonder Woman movie will have a traditional theatrical release. That's if cinemas are open. Though many opted to watch Wonder Woman 1984 at home, well, yeah, I imagine that he got a decent American pop because people were taking advantage of the 7-day free trial on HBO. So, they're not having to pay jack. Anywho, the film still surprisingly had robust ticket sales, at least for pandemic times. Collecting 16.7 million from 2,100 North American theaters, the best opening weekend to date in the COOF era. In terms of HBO Max viewers, the studio said nearly half of the platform's retail subscribers watched the film on Friday. But there again you have to say, how many is that, Warner Brothers? How many is that number-wise, numerically? Are you going to tell us? The answer is no, they're not. They're not going to reveal. And they won't reveal how many of those were free trials, and they're not going to reveal how many of those were paying customers. People could have easily just got the free trial to watch something on Christmas. A big AAA movie that was meant to hit the cinemas. $200 million flushed down the toilet. The studio said nearly half the platform was watched it on Friday, with millions more viewing through cable or wireless access. HBO Max, which launched in May, currently has 12.6 million active users. So if that is the case, then I'll take that back and say, what, 6.3 million active users? So 6.3 million people watched it for free. A third film. Was it always inevitable that they were going to push a third film for Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman? You could argue possibly. But is this an opportunity for Patty Jenkins to try and redeem herself after doing a good performance with the first film? Or is that it? Is that all she had in her repertoire? And what we saw with Wonder Woman 1984 is what we're really going to get from there on in. I hope not. I hope not, because I think Gal Gadot is brilliant casting for Wonder Woman. Physically, she's absolutely fantastic. She holds the presence. She's got great charisma. Chris Pine works fantastically with her as regards to that, for the chemistry. And she deserved better than this movie. Really, she really did. And I think she's been let down monumentally by some terrible writing by Patty Jenkins. And I think Jeff Johns part wrote this as well. Jeff Johns can write the front and back off a comic all day, every day. But he just can't seem to write movies at all. And yeah, fingers crossed the third one, which I think a lot of people will go in with a little bit more trepidation, will provide the entertainment that we deserved, that we didn't get from this. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and YouTube for live streaming links. They're in the description box down below. I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.